Hi guys, I'm Shmee, hello and welcome back to the channel where you join me on a beautiful day for something I am beyond excited about. If you know me at all, you know I've been looking forward to getting a first drive in one of these, the new Porsche 718 Cayman GT4 RS. Having owned both the 981 GT4 and the 718 GT4, I've been following the rumours of an RS on the Cayman platform since probably before Porsche were even working on the car themselves, but it's now here. This is the car. We have the 500 horsepower flat six 4-litre naturally aspirated engine, in this case in fact with a JCR Race exhaust. Now I had a JCR system on my GT4 and I feel like that combined with what I've heard of the intake sound that you have here right beside your head is going to make for quite the experience. It is a huge thanks to the owner of this car in the very distinct Ruby Star or Ruby Stone red paintwork, because it's lunch break here at Silverstone. He's kindly let me take it for a quick run while the track is closed to show you all about it, to experience it for myself and to have some fun in the new GT4 RS. Let's have a very quick run around this GT4 RS. As I said, I've only got a few minutes to take it out for a drive on the road during the lunch break here at the Silverstone track days, but we're looking at a car that has certainly been piquing my interest, a car that I would love to add to the Shmeemobiles should it ever become possible. But let's take all of this in, and particularly the spec of this car. One of the first of the UK customer delivered cars, taking that iconic paint colour that launched back with the 964 RS and is making a bit of a comeback, it has to be said. But this is the first RS product from Porsche's GT division in Weissach to be based on the Cayman platform. It's been rumoured for a very long time, but there were always the suggestions that if Porsche were to do it, because of the change from the 911 of the engine being out the back to the mid-engine configuration, it could potentially even give the 911 GT3s and the GT3 RSs a run for their money, and that is what I suspect it actually does. We're talking a car here with the full loaded specification. We've got the carbon fibre bonnet, carbon fibre wings as well to save some weight. In fact, the car weighs just 1,415 kilos, and with all of the weight saving options like the magnesium wheels, it can actually nudge just below 1,400, so it's about 35 kilos from standard lighter than the PDK equipped GT4s. It's PDK only, so the 7-speed dual clutch, which shifts in lightning fast pace. It's the gearbox borrowed from the 991.2, second generation of the 991's GT3, and then back here in the mid-engine configuration you have a magnificent view through to that 4-litre naturally aspirated GT3 engine, making 500 horsepower, 20 less than the new 992 GT3, but that's down to the development and rework, of course, for the different platform. Now, I mentioned the exhausts back here. Look at the bluing of those titanium race exhaust system tailpipes that you have from JCR, Johnny Cocker Racing and the team. I had the JCR system, as I said, on my GT4, and it sounded so good on that. I imagine on this, with the shorter ratios, faster revving, it's going to sound from another world. We've got the Cup 2 tyres, super sticky rubber. The car has been out on track. We've got the magnesium wheels with the centre locks, obviously obliterated with tyre marks at the moment and the rubber all over it from the laps that it's been doing. There's a sticker here, saves some weight over having the badge on the front, the knacker ducts to help with airflow. If we come and take a look inside it as well, I want to show you what we've got inside here. We've got the fixed carbon fibre bucket seats, we've got the cage back behind the seats and that view towards the engine back there as well. We've got the 901.2 style steering wheel with the JCR extended shift paddles on the back. This car also has the extended leather to give all of the trimmings and all of the great views around. A very familiar interior to me from my GT4, but the thing I'm most intrigued about is what this is going to sound like. Having those intakes for the engine straight through to the carbon fibre airbox right behind your ears, I mean what, 30, 40 centimetres away from your ears, that is presumably going to sound immense. So let's step straight in, because time, as I said, is very tight, but it is a huge thanks to the owner of this car for the opportunity to take it out right now. Key just in here, turn the key and it starts up. So we've got a few settings and the exhaust button. Oh, I can tell you already this is going to be immense. So let's gear up, let's get ready, and let's take this out for a drive. Let's make our way out then. The paddock here surrounding me with Porsches of all different derivatives. Obviously PDK, quite a different experience from the manual GT4, but Porsche did introduce the PDK gearbox for the 718, and obviously it's been very popular since doing so. It's a brilliant piece of engineering, snaps into the next gear, and the combination of that gearbox and the engine, or pretty much all Porsche engines, is magical. What I'm looking forward to though is when we start to rev it up a little bit more, what that is going to be like. Now the Cayman has been around for nearly 2 decades or so in total. We've had a lot of different derivatives, from the Cayman R to the GT4, and it started with this baby entry Porsche style or image, shall we say, but it's truly developed beyond that. This is a car that costs over £100,000. This is a car that can go around the Nürburgring in not much over 7 minutes. This is a car that has serious performance potential. It can sit alongside serious supercars. It's a very, very, very significant car for Porsche. And just looking out here over the bodywork in the Ruby Star, it's Ruby Star in some regions, Ruby Stone in others, it looks mega. It's just fabulous. Now the owner of this car actually picked it up, put PPF on it, had the stripes painted on the bonnet and on the wing, and did some other details as well, had the exhaust changed, and has already driven it 1,300 miles, including a couple of track days. Mega respect. That is seriously, seriously cool. Driving like this, by the way, it's not overly stiff. You can stiffen the dampers should you wish, but like this, it's just, yeah, fairly smooth. You can obviously change a few different things, and this car has been set up as well by, or rather with, quite an aggressive camber. So we have quite an aggressive turn-in to make it at home on the racetrack, and that's something that will no doubt make it feel like it's quite jittery and all over the place out on the road, but maybe not. Maybe it's still exceptionally compliant. I know Porsche always obviously try with the GT products to give that two-sided nature. Now, having owned a 911 991.2 GT3, obviously there are parts of this that especially intrigue me. Just driving along though, there are some lovely burbles. The burbles and sounds from this exhaust system. Now if I pop it left, we'll go into manual, because let's be real, that's how we all want to experience it straight away. Gosh, even just at 20 miles an hour, the shifts give you a nice little pop. Oh, I cannot wait to get this very shortly out onto some more open roads. Instant downshifts with that, oh, that intake hiss right behind my ears. I've been looking forward to this one a lot. I make no secret that I would love to buy a GT4 RS. Well, perhaps I should hold that opinion until after I've driven it. That's a really, really unique noise. Even just, 2,500 RPM, you're hearing the intake suction behind your ears. But yes, what I was going to say is, it follows the natural progression. I also make no secret that I've not been the biggest fan of the 911 GT products. The GT2 RS is fabulous. GT3s have just never quite grabbed my heartstrings in the way that the GT4s have. So you would think, therefore, given I love my track cars and I drive a lot at the Nürburgring, something like this would be absolutely right up my street. And that's what we're going to find out all about today. So, comfort-wise, all familiar from the GT4. These seats, they sit very upright. You get used to them after a while. They hold you very, very supportively when you are driving aggressively out on track. I love the Porsche steering wheels, this very small steering wheel, Alcantara finishing, just sharp, direct. What a sound when you're on the throttle. What a motorsport style ruckus going on all around you. I mean, we're just at 4,000 RPM. That's a cool noise. That makes you want to play with it, makes you want to run through the gears. Okay, everyone was saying it was cool. It's really cool. I'm not sure how much of that you hear from outside, but inside the car, it revs so sharply. Oh, this is good. This is really good. And I tell you what, it is also very compliant. Just crawling along like this, taking it easy on the dual carriageway outside of Silverstone. It is, as gentle as you'd want, and it's not set up too aggressively either. I thought it was going to be much more grabby than it is. But here it seems to be doing the job pretty nicely for me. And obviously being a Cayman and just, I guess, generally being a Porsche means it's loaded with all of the tech and all of the features that you could possibly want out of it as well. Okay, this is a dangerous drive. This is, I guess, what I kind of hoped. But yeah, let's get to some nice twisties and see what it's like out there. Those downshifts are just mega. Right, let's go into PDK Sport. Let's press the exhaust valve open button. Wow, that is a cool sound. It's the downshifts for me though. They are instant, completely instant. It gives you that feeling of weight as you go through the corners, a sense of feedback. I love those downshifts. My word, this is what we like, the open road. Absolutely spine tingling, up towards 9,000 RPM. It's such a high-pitched, emotional sound that you feel through you, spine tingling every part of your body. And obviously it's such a small car, being the Cayman-based platform, effectively the same ride height as the GT4, but with so much aero going on underneath the car as well to help with the swan neck wing and the additional downforce that you have at the front. And these are the kind of corners where this car comes to life. Oh my word. 500 horsepower isn't a load. You know, 400 or so is what I often say is the right amount for the road. 500, arguably a little bit too much, but the way it's got these very short ratios means that you can get to the top end of the gears. You can enjoy that sound. What a sound. What a sound it is. Yeah, these are the kind of roads here in the UK where when you're driving a big supercar, yes, you could fly down them if you could see, but you'd always be conscious of the width. This thing feels so small. Try not to scare the cyclist too much with the sound it makes. Oh, it's glorious. It's absolutely glorious. You know what? This could be one of the best cars, if not the best car, that Porsche have ever made. That's quite a statement. I just want to keep going up and down through the gears. Obviously, when I've only got a few miles to experience it, I'm trying to squeeze as much of an experience as I can into 15 minutes or so at the wheel. I came to the right place to drive this. I came to the right place. As the road opens back up again, first gear. What an amazing feeling. This is glorious. This rides down roads like this in a way that very few other cars can, with a soundtrack that very few modern cars can match. Not many are still able to sound like this and feel like this. Without even having to drive particularly fast. That's the crazy thing with this. So we thread it down the lanes. These open roads are just an invitation to slow down, drop down the gears, and just enjoy it. And it's a little bit more chopped up here, but still, being such a small car, obviously plays so much into its hands on these kind of roads. And I tell you what else, when you're driving, you're looking out over those carbon arches with the louvres. You can see the swan neck of the wing behind as well. You feel like you're in something really, really fun. And it's got a character to it. And perhaps, as I was saying about the 500 horsepower, perhaps that is at the top end of road car, but probably makes it also for a fantastic track car. And that's, let's face it, what a GT product is supposed to be. It's built to be at home, out it's on a racetrack, and I'd love to own one and to drive numerous laps at the Nürburgring Nordschleife with it, because that's what this needs. And as I said, full respect to the owner of this particular car for doing exactly that with it. Now, as a bit of a tester, I'm going to press the stiffer dampers button there, the sport chassis with PASM, Porsche adaptive suspension management, and yes, it's a little bit on the rough end, not perhaps as rough as I thought it might get, changing that, but yeah, I'm definitely going to be running it softer. That's what you'd want if you're out on the GP circuit. You can also obviously turn off the SC and fully disable all of the traction and backup support systems, shall we say. Just a little bit of concentration with all the bumps here, and conscious that it is very low. Now, technically, it isn't any lower than the regular GT4, but obviously with all of those extra aero vanes underneath, you do have a lift system to help you be able to get over those, which allows you to obviously lift up the front nose and get away without scraping on too many things, because that's always one of the downsides of the GT4 for daily usability, is that the front splitter, even though it's a easily replaceable 300-pound piece of plastic, is that constant scraping noise. It just doesn't feel good. It makes you feel like something's going wrong. But in here, we've got a frunk, we've got some luggage space up front, we've got the boot with some space as well, because the roll cage sits above the engine, so it's not taking up all of the boot space. You can actually use this and fit a lot of stuff in it. Like, no shortages of space. If I just pop down the window, get a little bit more sound from it as well. Not too much, because you hear all of the intakes right through into the passenger cabin behind you. So you're getting pretty much all of that noise from the off. Definitely conscious that it's a stiff setup though. 100% feeling that. It is a wider track than the GT4. Gosh, that's narrow even in here. What I was saying about supercars, squeezing through there in a supercar would not be fun. Even at slow speed. Blip, blip again. Just magical, just absolutely magical. The sound is to die for as we arrive back here at Silverstone. Now, obviously I've cheated a little bit by not driving the standard GT4 RS first. I've gone straight into the JCR equipped car, and if I were to ever have one of these, I'm going to have to copy that, because you need this noise. I think the intake noise is probably much of a muchness, but certainly the wail of that flat six is yeah, something special, something really special. For being a PDK, you can just pull the paddles and it goes neutral effectively. This was really special, really, really special. It's also quite fun right now to actually be at Silverstone. Just recently, the Formula One Grand Prix having taken place. Today's track day, one of the Silverstone days, as we head back towards the national paddock to return this. There are a few JCR cars running around. Johnny and the team putting together a day for some of their cars with their exhaust systems on them. Alrighty, there are a couple more things I'd like to show around this car though, so hopefully we can get a quick second before I go and hand back the keys once we pull back in here. Alas, that is going to be the end of my drive for now, but into park very quickly. Just have to hear just a little bit of this. Obviously soft limiter, but that sounds oh so good. Yeah, what a cool drive. Let's hop out. It is quite the warm day today. Us Brits love to talk about the weather, but just look at this thing. Look at the car. You have this optional painted livery for the center stripe, like on some of the big brothers from the 991 generation. As I said, these knacker ducts, the louvers, all to do with reducing the swelling air in the wheel wells, the aero management that you have around the sides. It's instantly recognizable thanks to the shape and the profile and the aero elements that you have at the front. Then in terms of wheels, these are the optional lightweight magnesium wheels, shod with the Cup 2 tyres. We've got the yellow distinct carbon ceramic brakes as well, the PCCBs, the cutaways to the bodywork. It's all just shaped for purpose. Of course, we've got additional intakes here, the carbon scoop on the outside to bring the air through, just like these pieces up top. Then you come round towards the wing, and look at this wing. A wing like this on a tiny little Cayman, by having the swan neck, means that you have the most usable underside space. The benefit of this is there's nothing obstructing the downforce that you get on the underside of the wing, and you've got it combined with this ducktail down here as well. And then you look down at the diffuser right down towards the ground, really, really low. Same shape and layout as the regular GT4, but even lower, especially with everything that's going on underneath. And the really cool thing about a JCR exhaust being on the car so early is that they effectively started working on it months ago. They got a system, were able to reverse engineer and work from that to develop onwards from their GT4 exhaust, which I can tell you is fabulous, and then create one for the GT4 RS already. And that's what we've got on this. Now, in addition to that, as I mentioned, it's a very practical thing. Pop this open, you've got some space back here, where obviously you can store things. You've got your water and oil fillers, and then you've got this lovely carbon top piece underneath the cage, over the top of the engine. On the regular Caymans and on the GT4s, you just have a carpet across there effectively. You don't get to see anything. So to have made that visible is the icing on the cake for me, that extra fantastic detail. Now if we run around towards the front, in the front, obviously, again, you've got the practical amount of space here. Find the catch for a few carry bags or whatever it is you might need. You can fit at least 2 carry-on aeroplane bags in there, and job's a good one. So what do I think now, given that I've got to go and hand this back with the lovely matching coloured Porsche crest keychain, is that I feel like I need one of these in my life. I do think it's probably one of the best, if not the best car that Porsche have ever made, and I think that's probably quite a statement. Take the little Cayman platform that I've always loved, give it a GT3 engine, give it the stiffer GT3 suspension setup, give it 500 horsepower, that PDK box, magical track machine. Really, really, really magical track machine. So maybe we see one down the line in the Shmeemobiles. Time will tell. They're certainly available for left-hand drive markets. I know some dealers where I could order a left-hand drive one. I'd quite like a UK right-hand drive one. We'll see how that goes. We'll see how that goes. But for now, as I said, a huge thanks to JCR, and a doubly huge thanks to the owner of this car for allowing me to eat into slightly his track time here at Silverstone to go for a drive. And of course, thank you as always to you guys for watching. I hope you've enjoyed the video, and I hope I'm going to be able to share one of these more on the channel with you in future. That's it for now though. Thanks for watching, and I'll see you very soon. Cheers!